Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 leading ladies in books, of course. I mean, I could talk about movies and TV shows all day long as well, but today over on my BookTube channel, we are talking about book leading ladies. So the first one that came to mind was B from One to Watch. This book is of course on my mind because I did read it recently. So One to Watch is like a bachelorette kind of deal, but it has a plus size leading lady in it, and her name is B. And I really enjoyed reading from the point of view of this character because B, I mean, she's representation for all plus size women out there. She embodies the having confidence in yourself, but also internally you still have insecurities about your body and how people are perceiving you and how people treat you because of how you look. And I related to her character so much because throughout the whole book I kept going, yes, that's exactly how that feels. Yes, I completely agree with, you know, how that feels to go through something like that. So you know, I honestly just related to her so much, and I loved her as a main character because she was very confident, and it showed her growth from the gangly, awkward, you know, baggy clothes wearing teenager to, you know, being an adult and being this, you know, fashionista and thinking that she's so confident, and then she's put in this situation that was basically designed to tear her down, and watching her struggle and realize that she still has room for growth. And I really loved watching that journey for her. And you know, honestly, it's a great book, and I just enjoy B. So that is my answer for that one, my very long-winded answer. So the next one is Sayuri from Memoirs of a Geisha, of course by Arthur Golden. And this book is one of my favorites. I have reread it multiple times. I've seen the movie. I own the movie. I understand this book is kind of problematic because it's not really true to the real life and the real experiences of geisha back in that time period. I do still enjoy it for the characters, and I understand the experience is not authentic, but again, characters. So Sayuri is the main character, and she starts off as a kid who her father sells her and her sister to this geisha town. She ends up at a geisha house, and her sister ends up basically at a prostitute house. And so Sayuri goes through being a child and trying to run away, and you know, eventually she gets to the point where she is able to become a geisha. And watching her kind of grow up after, you know, being a rebellious child and trying to get back to her family, and then realizing that, okay, maybe I should just, you know, fit in and get along and do what I need to do in order to live the rest of my life in comfort rather than, you know, keep being rebellious and live on the streets. And so she really works hard at becoming a geisha in a very short period of time. And I really enjoy her strength and her, you know, like her quiet strength. It's not like the in your face kind of strength. It's a very reserved and quiet and behind the scenes, but I really enjoy watching her character development. So the next two are both from The Other Boleyn Girl by Phillipa Gregory, and that is Mary Boleyn and Anne Boleyn, of course. I really enjoy Mary's story because Mary is, of course, the quieter, the meeker sister, the one that doesn't ask too much of anybody. And, you know, towards the end of the book, she starts to really snatch her own happiness, which is not something that she would have done in the beginning, which, okay. Let me just say, obviously these are real world characters, but I'm just talking about them in this book and their experiences. So, you know, I really enjoy Mary Boleyn and watching her struggles, but then watching how she grows out of everything she goes through and basically having to help the sister that displaced her and how well she takes it. Anne Boleyn in this book, she's kind of a bitch, but I also admire her because she knows exactly what she wants. She knows exactly how to get it, and she is dedicated enough to go for it. And yeah, she, you know, spoiler alert, she does end up getting beheaded. That's just history. But you know, honestly, I've always loved Anne Boleyn. She's probably my favorite one of Henry VIII's wives. And she's just a strong female character with a bad temper. So, you know. So the next one that I ended up choosing was Pippa from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Honestly, I really love her. She is such a great character just because she does not give up no matter what she goes through, because this whole book is based on, she's doing like this capstone project for her high school, because years before that there was like this kidnap murder in her town, and one of their neighbors basically went to prison for it. Well, no, because he killed himself. Yeah. So he was going to go to prison for it. And she doesn't believe that the story is actually solved, that the murder is actually solved. There's no body, you know, like nobody knows what's going on. So she decides that she's going to get involved with this and try to figure out what happens. And throughout the whole thing, she never gives up. She does all these deep dive researches, you know, and ultimately she ends up finding out what's going on. And I enjoyed following her because she's very tenacious. So the next character that I'm going to talk about is Shalyn from the Stormlight Archive. Honestly, Shalyn kind of annoyed me at first when I first met her, even though she was going on a journey to basically save her family, but she was going to steal the soul caster from, you know, a princess, basically. And she was going on this journey to help her family, but she was very meek and mild, and she didn't know how she was going to do this, and she just kind of like hemmed and hawed, and then ultimately she ends up growing some balls and doing it, and then from there, it's like her story just explodes. Her character arc in this is so good, and she struggles a lot with mental health issues, which of course, you know, most everyone can relate to. So I really enjoyed the portrayal of that for her, and I also enjoyed her strength. You know, she was willing to jump into anything and do anything to save the people that she cared about, to save the people that she loved, you know, and she found a lot of family along the way, and she protected them just as fiercely as they protected her. So I really, really like that. And then the next character is MG from the Golden Arrow Mysteries. I enjoyed her because she is nerdy, she is messy, she is unapologetically herself. I mean, her best friend is a drag queen, she makes costumes, she draws comic books, she is a complete 100% nerd, and I just love that because you don't often see that in books. So I just really like that portrayal because I kind of identify with that I feel like such a nerd most days. So yeah, I really enjoyed her character. And basically the whole premise of the Golden Arrow Mysteries is that, of course, MG works for this comic book place, and they used to write these comics for the Green Falcon. And some of these crime scenes that she's seeing in the news end up following some of the old comics. Well, the police bring her in to kind of help them solve the case because obviously she knows these comics, so they think that she can help like guess what's going to happen next and maybe head it off before it stops. Well, she ends up getting in a lot deeper than that and doing things that even the police don't know about. So there's a lot of behind the scenes, and you know, she's in trouble constantly, and her love interest is kind of on the other side of things. And her whole family group / friend group ends up becoming involved in all of these cases in one way or another. And it's hilarious. MG has a witty sense of humor. You know, she does kind of get down in the dumps sometimes, but she doesn't stay there. She gets knocked down, but she gets right back up again after mourning for a suitable period of time. But I just really enjoy her strength and her like out there-ness. I mean, she's one of those people that's like, you know, pink mohawk and purple bob, and you know what I mean? Like she's very out there, and she proclaims it to the world, and I absolutely love that about her. So the next character I'm going to talk about is Nesta Archeron from the ACOTAR series by Sara J. Maas. Nesta was one of my probably most hated characters in the original trilogy of ACOTAR because I thought she was just lazy and self-centered, and her attitude was very poor, which all of that is very true. However, in the most recent book, A Court of Silver Flames, you really get to see a lot more things from Nesta's point of view and kind of understand her more. And I really started to relate with her more because she is a pain. She does wallow. She had to kind of be kicked in her ass to pull herself out of her funk. And when she did, she threw herself 200% into training and trying to be better and trying to do better in her life, which I deeply, deeply admire the fact that she can come back from the depths of her wallowing like that. So I thoroughly enjoy Nesta at this point, and I kind of find her a more relatable character than Feyre. So the next character I want to talk about is Mercy Thompson, or Mercedes Thompson, from the Mercy Thompson series. So this whole series is basically a pack of werewolves. It's following a pack of werewolves. Mercy Thompson is a coyote shapeshifter, and she lives next door to this pack of werewolves. She is also a VW mechanic and quite the badass herself. And I really enjoy Mercy because she is one of those people that does shit just to piss people off. One of her projects, she put a VW rabbit in her yard and started doing more and more things to it to annoy her neighbor, who is a local alpha werewolf, and she started like spray painting obscenities on the side of it and taking the wheels off and taking the doors off, just to piss him off, and because she found it funny. So I really enjoy Mercy's sense of humor. I enjoy her strength. I enjoy the fact that she, sometimes she gets kidnapped, but she ultimately rescues herself. So I think that's pretty damn awesome. So the next one is Anna Kornick from the Alpha and Omega series, also by Patricia Briggs. This is set in the same world as the Mercedes Thompson series. Anna is a werewolf shapeshifter, and she originally, in the first book, is in this werewolf pack that abuses her. She got forcibly changed into a werewolf, and then her alpha and all the other members of her werewolf pack abuse her, beat her, make her do things for them that's not even right. So Anna had a very, very difficult time of it, and eventually she kind of grows, she gets rescued and kind of grows into a more stable, how do I even want to put this? A more stable, strong woman. I mean, she always was, because she never really gave up. Even though she was being beaten and tortured basically in her old pack, she never backed down. She always had that quiet behind the scenes strength that a couple of the other characters I've talked about today have. So she has always been strong. It's just that, she kind of did her rebelliousness behind the scenes. And after the fact, her growing and her character arc, she becomes stronger. She's one of those wolves that will stand up to the most alpha werewolf in the entire world and not back down from him because of who she is and what she is. So I really enjoy reading it from Anna's point of view as well. Her and Mercy are obviously very different characters, but I do enjoy their personalities, and their stories are just amazing. So anyway, that is all 10 of the top 10 leading ladies that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I do have plans to do, of course, my top 10 leading men as well. So stick around for that video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.